Have you been dreaming about launching a YouTube channel in 2025? Or maybe you already have one and you really want to grow, but you're not sure which expert to listen to because there is so much advice out there. Well, I have a treat for you because in today's episode of the Camera Confident podcast, I'm speaking to Alexa Saarenoja. She grew her following to 27,000 subscribers in less than a year. She has a big community on School now where she's got thousands of YouTubers who are gathering to talk about YouTube, listen to her, and really get excited about creating content. It wasn't always easy. She's got 3 kids at home. She had a lot of exhausting days where she was trying to churn out content constantly. And in this episode, she gets real about what it was like, what was the grind like, what did she do when the haters showed up and started leaving comments on her videos, how did she push through all the negativity and those days where she just didn't feel like showing up or when things just didn't seem to be working. This is a great, honest, and raw conversation about what it really takes to grow on YouTube in 2025. And you'll want to stick around to the end because Alexa shares her insights on how you can actually make money on YouTube without having to meet those requirements that YouTube puts out for 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Yes, there are many ways to monetize your YouTube channel. So without further ado, here's my conversation with Alexa Saarenoja. Welcome to the Camera Confident Podcast. Alexa, I am so excited to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for making the time today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
It's pretty late where you are, isn't it? You're in Finland.
Yep, 9 o'clock at night. Put the kids to bed. Go to work.
You are a trooper. Well, I was so excited to bring you on because in 2025, when we're recording this podcast, YouTube is becoming such an attractive platform, especially for entrepreneurs, business owners, creators, and people who frankly are a bit over some of the other platforms that are difficult to grow on. And especially if you're someone who wants to do long form content, somebody who wants to tell stories that are more than 8 seconds.
Yeah.
So before we get into it, can you just tell us a little bit about who you are and tell us, basically your elevator pitch?
Yeah, sure. So in my previous life, I was an architect and designer, and I did that for like 15 years. And then I was teaching at a school in the US as a professor of architecture, and I got laid off like really short notice. And I was just like, what am I going to do? I live in Finland. I don't speak the language. I don't know if I want to do architecture anymore. I'm kind of burnt out on it. And so I head to YouTube and I was just like, well, while I look for a job, I will try to do YouTube. And I really wasn't looking for a job, but that's what I told myself. And I just jumped on the platform and I was just teaching people what I was learning. And being a teacher in my nature, it just came really naturally to me. And I've been teaching online for over 10 years. And so just being like on camera and recording yourself and teaching things just came really naturally to me. And so that's kind of what I did. I just jumped on, I went all in and never looked back. And it's been a blast.
That's incredible. I think probably the first thing that comes to mind is, how did you know what to talk about? I mean, did you have a business at that point? That's a big uphill climb, even for people who know what their niche is. Did you have an idea of what your niche was when you started?
No, it's funny. I just saw some video by Silver and Solo. I don't know if you know her, but she's like 50 plus woman who got on YouTube and like got monetized really quickly. And I didn't even know what monetization was at the time when I watched her video. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You can make money on YouTube. And so I was just like, maybe I just make some videos and then make some money. And so, yeah, and then I was like, okay, I need to learn how to do this. So I took a course through Sean Cannell's Video Ranking Academy. And I learned everything I could. And then I just taught everything I was learning to people. And I wasn't acting like I was the guru or the master. I was just like, I'm an aspiring YouTuber. You're an aspiring YouTuber. I'm going to tell you everything I know from all the classes I've taken. And let's try to get there together. And it was kind of like more of a like, if I can do it, you can do it. Like if Silver and Solo can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Like that's really what my channel was all about. Like just proving to people you can do this and do it easily and scrappy. You don't have to have all the gear, all the equipment. And so that is kind of just how it started. And it ended up becoming my niche. It was kind of almost by accident, like I just kind of got on and started sharing information and then people really gravitated towards it. So I just went with it. Originally, I would have liked to have done like a self-development channel. I think that's what I would have done if this didn't work. But yeah, it worked. So
Yeah, it totally did. I mean, you've
mm.
got an amazing following. I think as of today, what are you at in terms of subscribers today? I know
uh,
it keeps changing.
27,000 or something.
27,000 subscribers. So tell us,
Crazy.
how long did it take you to build up to that? And tell us about your journey, because you had a really rapid rise on YouTube, which a lot of people, it takes them years to do what you've done.
I started in May of 2024. So I lost my job in January, and then I just wrote a book, kind of wrote a book. And then after that, and then I was like, I guess I'll try YouTube. And so it's been, I guess, about 9 months or so. And so, yeah, it took me like 9 months to grow to 27,000 subscribers. I had like a handful of subscribers on my channel when I started, maybe 200, but I would call it a dead channel. It wasn't like, I wasn't posting on it. So if anyone wants to know if they can revive a dead channel, you most definitely can. um, and yeah, I don't know. There's not much more to tell. Like that's how it happened. And then, people were asking me to start coaching. Like within a couple of months, they're like, will you coach me? Will you do this? And I was like, okay. So I started setting up a Calendly account and started coaching, and then just kept going and going. And my calendar got filled up. And then I started doing a more intensive coaching program, and it just one thing led to another, and it just flourished, and it was really awesome. And then I was looking for a place to kind of have a place for us all to come together, like content creators and YouTubers, aspiring YouTubers. And so then I created a school membership, and it filled up really quickly. I think it's almost at 3,500 people are in there already, almost 4,000. And it's a really awesome community. Like they're really supportive, and everyone's really active in there. So I just feel like, yeah, it just all just happened so fast. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, no, and I love that this whole idea of the accidental entrepreneur, because so many
Mm.
of us who run businesses, I mean, some people do have that knack for business and become entrepreneurs, but a
Yeah.
lot of people listening to this podcast, watching this on YouTube, are never thought of themselves as entrepreneurs, myself included. I mean, I didn't set out to be an entrepreneur. It just kind of happens.
Mm.
And what I find just absolutely fascinating about your story is you just leaned into it. You trusted the process.
Mm.
You did it when it was hard.
Yeah.
So let's dive into the whole, really what makes success, not just on YouTube, but in general with visibility, is the boring, hard work, even when no one's watching.
Yeah.
So, can you talk about what that was like for you? Those, I'm sure it was weeks, maybe months, where you were creating content and it's like, is anybody out there? Like, tell us what that was like.
Yeah, well, for me, it was so exciting, actually. It wasn't like I didn't even care if people were watching. I don't know why, but it was just because I had been doing my other career for so long, and I'd been teaching for so long and doing the same courses over and over again. It just became so monotonous and so the same thing over and over again. And then, having children, being a mom, it's like it's Groundhog Day every day, and it's very like draining, and you're very tired. And so when I found YouTube, it was like I found adults to communicate with again, first of all, which was really cool. And I just found like a new creative outlet, because as a designer, I've always been creative, but I've always been creative in that realm, in architecture, design, product design, that sort of stuff, not in the realm of like storytelling and sharing knowledge through like, I don't know, this type of platform was so different, and it was so exciting. So I had a lot of fun creating those videos. And I think that that's what got me through when there were the dips and ups and downs of YouTube, because, you might have this video that like gets 200 views when you're brand new and you're like, wow. And then the next three get like 5 views, and you're like, what? But like, I tried not to pay attention to that. I just tried to really enjoy the process. And it was really fun. So I think that that's what got me through the slower times, was having that creative outlet, and the community on YouTube really got me through that too. Like, people are so amazing on YouTube. I never expected that. I expected trolls. I expected hate comments. That's what I expected. Because, you see TikTok, Instagram, all those, you think, I don't know, even if you aren't on those platforms, you just think there's people that are mean. I don't know why. But when I got on it, it was just like total love and positivity and amazing community. And that also was like addictive too. It was like, wow, these people are happy. Like, children are not happy all the time. So it was like, wow, people actually enjoy my presence. So
Yeah, I think a lot of people set out on YouTube and don't even think about the concept of community. They
yeah.
just think, I'm going to make a video, I'm going to post it, and then I leave. And sometimes people will even like or leave comments on their videos, but they don't even necessarily respond. So, can you talk a little bit about the role of community for you in your success and in your growth? Because, just like on LinkedIn, for instance, you don't just go on and post, you have to comment, you have to engage. YouTube is very much like that as well. You need to cultivate a community.
Yeah. It's funny. I tried YouTube like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, like when I was pregnant with my youngest, and I had everything set up. I had the like courses, I had the coaching, I had funnels, I had everything set up. And like I had no idea about the community. And there were people commenting in the comments. I even looked back at the videos and there was like, can you coach me? How do I reach you? Like all of this stuff. I just had no idea. I didn't use YouTube, so I didn't know really how it worked. And so I think it's really important to also know how the platform works that you're on, and understand like that you do need to engage with people and like respond to them and stuff. Of course, that's more obvious now, but to me, it wasn't obvious like 5 years ago. So like I had so many missed opportunities at that moment because of not knowing how it worked and not knowing how to engage with people. And so this time around, I don't know, I just somehow was more in tune with how social media worked now that when I saw the comments coming in, I was responding right away. And it really made a big difference because you could have like a conversation with these people. It wasn't just like they wrote a comment like, thank you. And I wrote back, you're welcome, or thank you for watching or something like that. They actually like wrote paragraphs and I wrote paragraphs back. And so it was really interesting how it evolved from there.
You said not knowing how it works. So how does it work? What are your tips for how to cultivate a community if you don't already have one? So there's a lot of people who are putting YouTube videos out there. Maybe they don't get a lot of views, they don't get any comments. How do you stir up that community?
Yeah, I always said in my videos, like, I'm doing these videos for you. I want to hear from you. Like, this is everything I'm doing on this channel is to help you grow. And I'm learning as we go. And I'll share everything I have with you. If there's any questions or comments or anything you want to know from the courses I'm taking, from my mentors or whatever, let me know. And I think by actually saying that from a place of like the first time I did YouTube, I was from the place of selling, selling, selling. This time I had nothing to sell. I was just there to provide information, to provide value, to connect with people. And I think since I was coming from that place, it was a safe space to be because I wasn't selling anyone anything. I really wanted to connect with people. And I said to them, please leave comments. I'm here for you. I'm happy to do whatever you need, or let me know what you need and I will provide that for you if I have the ability to do that, or the capabilities or the knowledge or the wisdom or whatever. And so, yeah, I think just asking and really caring about the people shows that you want to build a community, that it's more than just the videos. So I think that would be my advice, like really actually truly care, like try to provide as much value for people and not worry about trying to sell stuff. That just will follow if you create a space that's all about their growth and all about your viewer and helping your viewer go from point A to point B. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, and that really came through for me because I found your channel when I was starting to grow mine. I
Mm-hmm.
joined your school community, and that's one of the things that I've always really admired about you is you are so authentic in an era of AI and fake and retention editing and all of that stuff. And I'd love to know, did you deliberately set out to be like that? Like, did you think at all about, the vibe or how you were presenting yourself or backgrounds or anything? Or did you just set up the camera and say, this is me, this is what I'm doing, and just go for it? Can you take us through that process of how did you even know how to put yourself out there at the beginning?
I think I had gone through such like a life transformation before I got on YouTube. Like, even though I lost my job abruptly, before I lost it, I was ready for a change. I was so tired of what I was doing. I was so tired of being tired of parenting, of all these things, and I was ready for something different. And I had this like, I don't know how to explain it, like this confidence in who I was and what I wanted in life. And I think that comes in midlife. I think when you like go over 40, you like to start to live your life for you. And so I came to YouTube with like, I don't really care how anyone judges me anymore in life. I just want to help people. Do you know what I mean? And so I didn't worry about like if people didn't like me, because I know YouTube, there's a million channels on YouTube. So if you don't like me, you just go to the next YouTube channel. No big deal. But if you do resonate with you stick around. And so at that, I think I came with that mentality, like, I'm just going to be who I am, because if I try to be anyone else, it's not going to work. I tried to be someone else my first channel like 5 years ago. I tried to be like this professional with my coaching courses and all of this like lined up, but I had never even coached anyone. You know what I mean? Like I tried to be something I wasn't. And now I'm just like, this is me and I'm ready. Let's do this. So, but it wasn't like any, like, I didn't like what's it called? I didn't like pre-think about it or plan it or anything.
Strategizing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're in a very crowded niche. The grow on
Mm,
YouTube niche is one of the more competitive niches out there, right? And
yeah.
so the fact that you come to it with such an honesty and authenticity and integrity, and nothing about it feels fake or forced. Like I just really admire that you've created a space where it feels like you're a friend giving some advice to people.
Well, that's
And
nice to
so I
hear.
guess my question for you is let's say you're a business owner, because there are a lot of entrepreneurs who watch and listen to this show,
Yeah.
and they want to try to do that on their channels. But at the end of the day, they also want to sell something,
Yeah.
because let's face it, YouTube is hard. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work. And people are on there to make money, whether it's through
Yeah.
ads or through selling services, programs, products. So, what's your advice to people who do want to make this a business and want to grow, but are a little worried about coming off as salesy?
Yeah, I would say that again, I would just go back to providing as much value as you can up front. Like overload them with value. Just overload people with value, and they will come back to you for more. You know what I mean? They like I learned that from Frank Kern in one of his courses so long ago. It was just like provide them with so much value that they cannot say no to you. So if you ever do offer something, they will say yes, because they already know how much value you've given them for free, that saying no would almost be like absurd. So I really do think it comes down to like providing as much value. And there's also ways to spin things too. Like in your videos, you could talk about some topic in your video, and instead of saying, by the way, I have a course on this, you could say something like, if this is over your head, if you are at all confused or anything like that, I can help you. I do have coaching. It's a link in the description below. Check it out if you want to. You can come across in ways that are not pushy, that are not salesy, that are like genuinely coming from your heart to try to help people. And I think that is like a faster way to grow your business, because people want to felt seen and heard, and they don't want to be sold to. Like I've never wanted to be sold to. You probably never wanted to be sold to. So you want to see that someone sees you and feels your pain and wants to help you.
Yeah, I mean, you want to work with people, you don't want to be sold to, which doesn't
Yeah.
mean you don't want to hear people's offers. You just
Yeah.
don't want to receive them in a way that feels
Icky.
like it's a transaction, right?
Yeah.
It's more like let's work together. So, I guess can you talk a little bit about your ideation, right? Because there's obviously a lot of facets to growing on YouTube. So,
Mhm.
what is your guidance on for people who are, say, just starting YouTube channels? How do you come up with the ideas, and walk us through that process, at least to get from idea to video?
Yeah, well, for me, I was in the thick of it. Like I was trying to grow my channel. So anything I was like trying to overcome or did overcome, I did a video about it. Like in the moment. So it's like, I don't know how to write titles. So made a video on titles. I don't know how to make a thumbnail. So I learned it and I taught a video on thumbnails. Like I did what I needed to do to grow my channel, and I taught all of those things. So I was in the thick of it. So I would say if you are on the other side of that, like if you're helping people that are in pain and you got over that pain, to remember what it was like while you were in that pain and address those issues with your videos. Like think about all the things that they're thinking about or they're feeling or that they might want help with, and address their pain points with your videos. That's how I would do it, approach it. But yeah, it's pretty simple for me because I was in the thick of it, going through it, yeah, and teaching it as I went. So
And a lot of people don't realize the idea of the genesis of a YouTube video often isn't the necessarily the full video idea. It's what's the title, what's the thumbnail, and then you make the video. So that was a big switch for me because I came at it of, oh, I want to make a video about this topic. You make the video and then you're like, okay, now I need a title. Now I need a thumbnail. But that's actually backwards, isn't it?
It is, but that's how I did it, and that's how I still do it. I
Oh,
totally do
really?
it. Yeah,
Okay.
I do it wrong. I was taught the other way, but I cannot do it that way. If I
Okay.
make the title and the thumbnail in advance, and then I try to make the video, I don't know why, I just can't get it out. Like I have to be, for me, I make my videos and edit them and post them the same day. That's how I do it because I have to. I'm such a like intuitive person, got to be in the moment, have to like feel what I'm saying. And if I'm not, like, that's why I come up with the topic that day and I present it. Because if I don't feel it, it's really hard for me to make a video on it. Like, and there's been days that I've made videos about being in a funk because I was trying to do a title and thumbnail first and then the video, and it just wasn't coming out. I'm like, screw this. I'm going to do a video on how you get in a funk sometimes on YouTube and things just don't work. And then I made a video on that. So I think, like, for me, I did the exact opposite and I grew my channel. And I think that's also something to pay attention to. Like you can get all this advice and wisdom of how to grow your channel or how to build a business and all that stuff. But if it doesn't work for you, it's not working. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not going to grow for you if it doesn't work. And so I've tried to do the right way and it doesn't work. So I stopped and I just do it my way and it works. So you can also do things your own way and still succeed, I think.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you have any other YouTube advice that you've received that you have literally done the opposite of? Like, what is some of the worst YouTube advice out there that you've heard?
I did everything scrappy, that's for sure. I used my laptop, my MacBook Air, to make all my videos up until about 2 or 3 weeks ago when I finally bought a real camera, like a real vlogging camera for YouTube or whatever. So I don't think you need anything fancy. I do think paying attention to your viewers in the comments is important. Like many people were commenting, I love your videos, but I wish your audio was better. And so I was like, okay, I need to get a mic. I finally was like, I just get a mic. I still use my laptop. I still use my webcam. I never got a camera, but I got an audio. I upped my game with my audio because it was requested. So I paid attention to that. But if there's any advice that I think is terrible, well, the one thing I think is terrible right now that I think is definitely changing is the whole like, you have to copy and paste bigger channels, what they're doing or what's trending to grow your channel. And I really don't agree with that, to be honest. I do think take a different perspective on trending videos because basically trending videos are just there to reach a broader audience. They're like a more broad topic and like evergreen videos are more niche. And so if I look at it that way, I'm a little bit happier about trending clickbait videos. But like, I don't think you should copy what everyone else is doing and try to be something you're not. I think you should, if you get an idea from another channel, you need to make it your own and make it your own video and not just copy and paste. And I think people are really tired of looking at like all the like how to grow on YouTube channels and they all have the same video on them. It's getting disgusting. It's getting like too much over the top. And so I think that people are getting tired of that. And I think that that would be advice that I would no longer say to do is to copy everyone. Like someone was saying to me the other day, well, actually they were saying that someone told them that if you can't get used to copy and pasting, you're in the wrong industry. And I think that's wrong. I think it's
That's
changing. I think
terrible
people,
advice.
but yeah, I know, right?
That's
Uh,
terrible
it's
advice.
horrible. And so, yeah, I think it's changing and do what you want to do on your channel. Like, of course, learn what videos are doing well on your channel, pay attention to analytics, but do what you think people need, not like what everyone else is doing and you copy that. I really don't think that is a way to grow your channel.
I totally agree. In my own journey, the advice that I've seen is you go out there and, there's lots of different tools to do this, but you find the outlier videos, whether they're in your niche or some other niche. If you're a YouTuber, you may know vidIQ, which is a really great tool that you can get a plug-in for your computer and you can actually see on someone else's channel, oh, this is doing 100 times better than, their other videos. So the advice I've seen is just take that and then copy that idea in your niche. But part of what gets lost with that is your authenticity and your own storytelling. And if you're just copying what other people are doing, or there's all of these tools where you can plug in your subject and then it gives you these suggested titles and they all follow the same formula. And then when you go on YouTube, you start to see, a lot of this repetition. So I'm glad to hear you say that you advise against that stuff because, something that I'm so passionate about is people being their authentic selves and not copying the competition and not trying to go viral because that's not sustainable and that doesn't build a true following of loyal viewers, customers, people who can't wait to watch your stuff. So it's so great to hear that too.
Yeah, and to be honest, in the beginning of my journey, that's what I was advised, and so then that's what I was advising people to do. But I've totally flipped my opinion on that now, being on this platform longer. And even, it's funny. I remember back in early in my journey, I was trying to do like what I was told to do, like taught to do, like do the viral content, copy it from other channels or copy the idea. And I did one of those videos, and so it just felt so gross. And so the next video I posted was about having the ick on YouTube, like how YouTube was giving me the ick. And that video like shot way past on views versus that one where I tried to do someone else's content on it wasn't their content, but like I tried to reproduce some idea that was similar. So I thought it was really interesting. And it's like, yes, you have to stick with who you are, your authenticity. You like, there's plenty of other people in the world. There's only one you. You need to be you. And that's how you will stand out too, because people don't want to see or listen to someone that's not there. That's like regurgitating information from someone else. Like they want to see you. They want to understand your opinions and your perspective and learn from you. So that's why I think it's really important.
One of the thumbnails of one of your videos that kept coming up for me over and over again was your love letter to your haters. Can you talk about the haters? Because yes, community is wonderful and we all want to create a community, but the bigger you get, you can't avoid having people who don't like you or aren't saying nice things. So tell us about your experience with that and how you handled it.
Yeah, I thought since I was so confident in who I am, I thought the negative comments wouldn't affect me as much as they did. But I used to love to wake up, get my coffee, feed my kids breakfast, and read through my comments and respond to my comments every morning for like an hour while they were eating breakfast or something. And then it started to get like bigger and the more negative comments were coming. So like every 10th comment, there was like a negative comment and you couldn't prepare for it, right? Because you didn't know it was coming. So it was always just like this like slam on you, like bleh, and you're like, oh. And it was like,
Like a slap.
yeah. And it created like this anxiety almost because I wanted to go to my comments to respond to my viewers, but then it was like that you never knew when it was going to happen, and it would just drop your energy levels, and so and so it was really bothering me, and like I felt like it was preventing me from being myself, like because I was totally open with like my family. I told my husband's nickname, like I call him the Viking. I was like sharing all like stuff about my life, and people were attacking things that I was sharing about my life, and so I was like getting smaller and smaller and smaller and shrinking down. And so I was like, okay, I need to deal with this because it's obviously causing problems on my channel. I can't be as authentic as I want to be. And so I made a video like just for them so that I could feel like I could move on, because I do feel like I have a special place in my heart for the haters because I feel like they're hurting. I really feel like something in my videos is triggering something in them. And it's never fun to be triggered. We've all been in the situation where we've been triggered in life from something. And it's usually a pain, it's a hurt that we haven't dealt with. So I know it's not personal against me, but it hurt me that I couldn't help those people. And so I made a video that I know they probably would never watch, but I made a video to help me get over the negative comments and to address them and say that stop wasting your time putting others down when you could use that energy to start lifting yourself up. Because I feel like they're wasting so much time like worrying about what other people are doing, and they could be spending that time to grow their own channel or grow their own business or grow their life in a better direction. And so that's what that video was all about, to really like address them in a way that was like, you can say negative things to me, but I'm still going to love you and want you to do well in life. You know what I mean? Like, because that's really what it boils down to. I think we should all just, I don't know, help each other. So like sincerely, I'm not trying to be fake. I'm not trying to like be a martyr or anything like that. I really do think we need more, as cheesy and cliche as it sounds, more love in the world.
More love and acceptance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the biggest reasons that people are scared to hit record or don't feel confident is because they're worried about people judging.
Yeah.
or what other people think. So is that something you had to overcome before you started? Or, I mean, you did talk earlier about how you were confident in who you
Yeah.
were and the stage that you were at, but what about confidence showing up in the way that you do?
I really didn't have any problems. Like, for me, it was so, I think because it's like YouTube is like, you just hit publish and then it just goes out into the ether. So it didn't really, in the beginning, phase me or make, didn't really feel like it was actually reaching people. Do you know what I mean? So I
Okay,
just, it
interesting.
felt like I could just express myself and no one really knew because I didn't tell any of my friends. But in my head, I was just like, no one knows. Those people don't know me. No one, whatever. And so I didn't have any problems with the fear of getting on camera or like expressing myself for some reason. Maybe I just mentally tricked myself into thinking that no one's watching. And I don't know. It was weird, but I feel like it's very freeing. I felt like I could be myself more on YouTube than I could be in real life, actually, which is very strange.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Mm.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because I live in a foreign country and I don't speak the language, so I'm always having to like dumb down my language. I don't mean that in any insulting ways at all, but I like to speak very basic English so that people understand me because I don't speak their language. So I have to, and you don't get to be yourself when you can't express yourself the way you want to express yourself. And I always feel awkward in situations living in this country because I don't speak the language. So I tend not to speak much and I tend to be in the corner or like playing with my kids when we're out socializing. And so I think it was a place that I could just finally speak my language the way I speak it and express myself. And I don't know, that might have been part of it too, to be honest. I've never thought about it until just now, but I think that might have something to do with it too.
I think that plays a huge role in your authenticity and why
Yeah.
you came across that way,
Mm.
because you genuinely like are speaking from the heart and creating those experiences. I want to switch gears to a topic that I know everyone watching and listening who has aspirations of growing on YouTube: monetization. How do you make money on YouTube, especially when you're just starting out? What's a realistic expectation? How long? Obviously, I know this is different for everyone, but what's your guidance on making money? And there are a number of ways to do that. You don't have to wait till YouTube decides you're ready to make
Yeah.
money, right?
Yeah. Definitely. I think, yeah, you can start making money right away if you have a skill that you can teach or that you can help people with. If you want to coach, like you could set up a calendar link on your description of your videos right away on your description of your channel. I mean, there's so many ways to make money. You can make money through affiliate links on Amazon. You could make money once you get a little bit bigger, and you don't need to be that big actually. Like I think I was getting sponsorships emails as soon as I hit 500 subscribers. So you don't need many subscribers to like get people starting to contact you about sponsorships. You could make courses, ebooks. I mean, you could sell so much through your videos. I think the sky's the limit with that. You can also sell other people's courses. Like when I first started, I was in Sean Cannell's Video Ranking Academy, so I became an affiliate for him and I promoted his stuff on my page, not because I wanted to get paid for it, but because I really loved his course and I really like what he does and he really resonates with me. And so I was like, this, I'm learning all of this from him, and I would share a link to his course if people wanted to get that. So you can make money that way. There's so many ways you can make money on YouTube, and I think that's what's so brilliant about it. Like you don't have just to rely on this one thing. Like when I got on YouTube, I wanted to get monetized and get YouTube ads. Like that's all I knew when I came to YouTube. But then I quickly learned that there was other ways to make money because people were reaching out and saying, "Will you coach me?" And I was like, "Okay." Like definitely. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
lots of ways.
And I love that because I think that a lot of people think the only and the best way to make money on YouTube is with ads. But a lot of people also don't realize that you have to keep people watching your videos for a certain amount of time for those ads to be shown. And there's a lot of, even once you reach that magic 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, which is not easy to do. Um, you'll reach the number of subs, but the watch hours are where, there are, that takes a bit longer. Even when you reach that, there's no guarantee. And you actually have videos where you show in a lot of detail, what you can expect to make even once you reach that point.
Yeah, it's really funny too. Like I making this month with YouTube ads the same amount that I was making with 8,000 subscribers, and I have
Wow.
27,000. So it's like, it's, but then
Why do
like
you think that is?
It's views because I was doing 3 videos a week when I was at 8,000 subscribers, and now I've gone down to 2 and 1, and sometimes 3. Like, so I'm not as like consistently doing 3 videos a week anymore. I just don't have that bandwidth, that time anymore. But yeah, and so I think it was that. But then also, I had one video go really viral in, I think, November, and I made $2,700 in that month. So it's like $2,700 to like $500. It's so volatile that like I don't rely on that. I look at it as more as like bonus money. But it's funny because that's what, when I got into YouTube, I was like, that's gonna be what I live off of. But it's like the money that's like I feel lucky to get that money. It's like this extra bonus. It's so. I know you could build a channel and make tons of ad revenue if that was your goal, and that you went after that. I think definitely you could do that, of course. But for me, it's volatile and it's more like a bonus.
And lastly, so for someone watching or listening who's like, okay, I'm on board, I want to create a YouTube channel, how would you recommend they go about starting? Because starting is the hardest thing, right? Like just getting out there and doing it. What would your advice be to that total newbie on YouTube?
Well, I am a big fan of niching down. Not everyone is, but I totally am. And so I would say try to pick a niche that, well, just to pick a niche, first of all, and make sure there's a market for it, but also to do something that you're passionate about and hopefully proficient in, and that you could talk about for hours and hours and hours and not get bored. Like if you think, because if you imagine, let's say on average, people it takes them like a little over a year to get monetized on YouTube if they're being consistent. And so imagine yourself, could you do this for a year? Could you do this for 2 years? Is this a topic you want to talk about for 2 years? I'm not saying you can't pivot and change, but like I think overall the topic should be something you're really passionate about, that you're interested in sharing with the world, because it is like YouTube is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's going to take some time to get there. It's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of hours editing, doing all this stuff, learning all these new skills that you need to have on YouTube. And so, yeah, that would be my advice. Find a niche that you're really passionate about. And the reason I say niche down is because if someone comes to your channel for a video, let's say on relationships, how to communicate in your relationships, and then you also have videos on vegan diets or fitness for 60-year-olds or whatever it is, they came for that video. And if they don't see more videos on how to work through their relationship or communication or something like that, they're not going to subscribe. They're not going to stay because your videos are all over the place. So if you finally get someone to click on your video and watch your video, it's more likely that they will stick around and come back if you have more content similar to that topic, in my opinion. So I think that would be the number one advice I would give, is to try to do that. And also stick with it. Like, don't give up. Like I see so many people come to me and they're like, I posted my first video, it got 5 views. And I'm like, how many subscribers do you have? 0. 5 views is amazing if you have no subscribers. You know what I mean? And they're like, or they have like 3 subscribers and they get like 25 views. It's like, that's incredible. Like, that is great for a new channel. Like people are finding you. That's a good thing. And I think people see all these other channels with thousands and millions of views. And so it makes the beginning journey feel so hard when it shouldn't feel so hard. Do you know what I mean? Like like every view is a person out there watching your content and interested in what you're doing.
Exactly. Totally. If you put
Yeah.
25 people in a room, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we just hosted a party and we had like 25 people and our house was busy. There were a
Yeah.
lot of people here, right? So
Yeah.
that's another really interesting thing, that we're so conditioned by social media to seek virality, to, oh, if I don't have thousands of subscribers, then I'm not successful. And it's really important to push back against that instinct, because the vanity metrics are, I think, what lead to the burnout and the mental health, frankly, epidemic that social media has created in our society, of people who are measuring their worth based on how many views, how many likes, like all of this kind of stuff. You and I are both moms. Like, I worry about my daughters, when they start posting things and, oh, they didn't get enough likes and all of that. Like, when did we become a society that just was completely fixated on that?
Yeah, I agree. And I just posted a video today about that because I feel like it's really hard to be on these social media platforms and not be like inundated with all that negativity that's on there too. Like a lot of people like go to YouTube and watch, inspiring things and stuff, but you see all that clickbait stuff coming up no matter what. You see it and it's in your face, it's in your zone, and in your energy. And I feel like we really have to work hard to protect that when we are on these platforms, to protect like what we allow to come into us, because like the input creates the output in your life. And so if you allow negativity to come in, if you allow all those, like whether you have the views or the clicks or whatever, and all those, vanity metrics or whatever to kind of run your life, you're going to be less authentic because you're going to be worried about what other people are thinking about you. And I don't know, we have to like really, I don't know, ground ourselves, meditate. I don't know what it is, but like remind ourselves that this is more important. I'm more important. My viewers are more important, not like how many views I got on a video or,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that comes through in your energy.
Mm.
Even for people who are not very woo, there is
Yeah.
a direct correlation between the energy you're showing up with.
Mm.
And there are a lot of subtle cues, body language cues, micro expressions.
Yeah.
That's a whole other episode, but that there are a lot of things that you do as you talk, and whatever's going on up here, whether you like it or not, is being conveyed through the lens. And
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
it definitely gets magnified.
Mm.
This has been so great. Thank you so much, Alexa.
Yeah.
If people want to know more, they want to find you or connect, what's the best way?
Well, my YouTube channel is Alexa Saarenoja, but I have a school community that's free, that is awesome. The people in there are amazing. I'm not saying it's awesome because I create. I'm saying it's awesome because the people in
It
the
is
community is
awesome.
awesome.
I'm in it. You're not lying. It's great.
Yeah, and it's called the Creator Boost Tribe. So you can go on school and search for that, or but that's where you can find me.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for staying up late
Yeah.
to record this
Hopefully I don't
podcast
look
with
too
me.
tired or gray. It's so dark here.
No, no, no. I'm excited to put this up on YouTube, and we will for sure. I'd love to keep in touch as your channel continues to grow. And thanks so much for sharing all your wisdom with our audience.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Wow, that was a jam-packed episode. Thank you so much, Alexa, for all the amazing insights. I'm going to link below her school community, which I'm a member of. Highly recommend that. And also how you can get in touch with Alexa. If you're someone who is looking to grow your YouTube channel and you want to know where to start when it comes to scripting, I recommend you don't memorize anything. Check out this video on how to script your videos without scripting your videos. Does that make sense? Check it out.